So, some woman's in the hospital with COVID in Florida. So I made the statement that if she was an anti-vaxxer, I wasn't going to pray for her. I wasn't going to have any concern for her whatsoever. And everybody's coming across and going, oh my gosh, why are you calling it a hoax and all this? I didn't call it a hoax. I said the anti-vaxxer calls it a hoax. But yet they're all too willing to get into that hospital to get an all newer science to heal themselves from that COVID. And to get onto the internet and start crying about how horrible it is they got COVID. Let me put it to you plain and simple and right straight, so you understand it clearly. I'm not having sympathy anymore on these anti-vaxxers who get sick and ended up in the hospital, on ventilators, on oxygen, or even dying from COVID. I will feel sorry for their kid who they didn't get vaccinated because they didn't have a choice. I will feel sorry for the child or the adult who couldn't get vaccinated, like one of my friends, because it creates health problems for them, who end up with COVID because of these anti-vaxxers and anti-maskers. I will feel sorry for the woman whose husband had a heart attack and could not get treatment because the hospital's beds were taken up by anti-vaxxers. I will feel sorry for the mother who lost her child with cancer because that child couldn't get the treatment it needed because the hospital beds were full. But I won't feel sorry for the anti-vaxxer who gets COVID. I won't feel sorry for the anti-masker who gets COVID. They don't deserve my sympathy. They don't deserve anybody's sympathy. They chose to catch COVID. When they chose not to wear a mask or not to get vaccinated, they chose to take up that hospital and deny somebody who needed it worse than they did. Because they don't need that hospital all that bad. If they're going to complain about the science of the vaccine, which is a more proven science on the vaccine than there is on that anti-chromal antibody treatment is. But they're clamoring for that. And that's a much newer science than the vaccine is. So no, I won't have sympathy on them. You can't ask me to have sympathy on them. They're out there getting other people sick. They're out there killing babies. And these are the same people who holler about abortions. So no, I have no sympathy for them. So get that straight. Get it completely straight. You want me to have sympathy for somebody that's in the hospital with COVID? You tell me to have sympathy for the child who can't get a vaccine because they're under 12. You tell me to have sympathy for the child who didn't get the vaccine because their parent is an anti-vaxxer. You tell me to have sympathy on the person who can't get a vaccine because they're allergic to them or have some kind of actual medical problem with them. You tell me to have sympathy on the heart attack victim who couldn't get treatment, or the accident victim who couldn't get treatment, or the cancer patient who didn't get treatment because that anti-vaxxer took up a hospital bed they needed for the treatment. So don't ask me to feel sorry for some anti-vaxxer who got COVID. I could care less anymore. They don't care about who they are infecting Why should I care about when they end up in a hospital? So don't be hollering at me about it. You holler at them. When they come boo-hooing on their phones about, oh, I got COVID, oh, I feel so bad, oh, this is the worst thing ever. Stop and think about how many people they infected before they made it to that hospital. Why don't you feel sorry for them? Ridiculous. Tell me to be sorry for an anti-vaxxer who got nothing more than what they asked for.